Okay, here we go. If I start jumping around, believe it or not, 23rd of December, I got a mosquito buzzing around me here. I sprayed myself, but it still seems interested. So we'll see what happens. Must be a very persistent mosquito. Well, here's the reading. I'm not 100% sure what to make of it, but anyway, there we are. The first quote is from someone well known, at least in religious circles, Augustine of Hippo, from way, way back when. This is a famous quote, actually. The title of the whole thing, Longing in Our Hearts. And Augustine of Hippo, as I said, a famous quote, Thou hast made us for thyself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in thee. Our heart is restless until it rests in thee. And Ernest Holmes, and This Thing Called You, says, You must be certain that your desire is toward more life for everyone, including yourself. You must be certain that your desire is toward more life for everyone, including yourself. This thing called you. And Rev Michael Gott talks about he says, I've been a science of mind practitioner for 20 years and a student for even longer. Yeah, in order to become a minister, you got to become a practitioner. To become a practitioner, you have to do 2 years of practitioner studies. But before that, you've also got to do 2 years of studying science of mind. And then ministerial studies is normally about 3 years. And then after that, you get certified. And then 3 years later, you can apply for ordination. So it's kind of a long track. You know, it's like 3, 6, 8, 10. It's about a lot. Usually a minimum of 11 years, you know, so to become an ordained minister. So he's been through a lot. Then he says, I've been in recovery and therapy for a long time too. I'm mostly happy and well adjusted, but I've become aware that even in the times in my life when I thrive, if I get quiet and listen, I can feel something deep within me that feels like longing. For what? I'm not exactly sure. Science of Mind does not say much about longing. Ernest Holmes mostly equates the word with craving or even addiction. In giving treatment instructions for someone who is addicted to alcohol, Ernest Holmes says the practitioner should see the person as having no longing outside of the longing to express their own divinity. It's kind of a tall order, right? And then this is Reverend Michael Gott goes on to say, the longing to express my own divinity, and he's put that in italics. Something about that phrase feels like truth. Maybe that's what my own longing is, a deep desire to express that authentic being within that is as yet unexpressed. Deep joy and light and freedom. My soul longs for these. He says, I wonder if our cravings all emanate from this one deep longing. What if the craving for carbohydrates or whatever form of numbing agent we use is really a call for us to attend to the eternal unfolding of our truest nature as expressions of spirit? Can I summon the courage and the willingness to be still, to listen for spirit's call within me? Well, I would say that all addictions are trying to fill a gap for something. So maybe Reverend Michael Gott's right that it's this deep longing within. But sure, you only kind of take up addictions to make up for something somewhere else. If something is missing or you need something. So yeah, he's right. I think I've got to give this some more thought, to be honest, about that deep longing within, because I'm sure all of us have it to some extent. So my question is, what do you think? What do you think about Reverend Michael Gott when he says, I wonder if our desires all emanate from this one deep longing? Huh? My soul, he says, my soul longs for deeper joy, light, and freedom. So, I don't know. What do you think? You know, one thing's for sure, I don't have all the answers, even for myself. So, it's a pretty short reading today. I'm doing it early because, as I said, we are going to be inundated by people very shortly. I think around about 6 o'clock Central in an hour and a quarter's time. There's going to be, let me see, at least another 10, possibly 11 people coming. There's 3 of us here already, and then there's going to be another 10 or 11 coming. So it's going to be pretty busy at our house. So let me see. The affirmations, he says, I listen for the still small voice of my being as it calls me forward in spirit's journey. I listen for the still small voice of my being as it calls me forward on spirit's journey. It says, I answer the call with joy. I answer the call with joy. I think mine is going to be, I listen for the still small voice. I listen for the still small voice. And I'm knowing that as each person here listens for that still small voice, they truly find what it is that is at the center of their being for which they're being called. And I release this prayer into a divine mind that always says yes, and for which I'm so grateful. And I release it now and say, and so it is. Oh, the one thing. My colleague, Reverend Lisa, tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Look out.